they've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Hi everyone and welcome to KRYPTALK, that Irish guy that talks about Bitcoin. In the last 7 days, Bitcoin has dumped 24%, while in the meantime, Cardano has pumped 130% against Bitcoin. So we're going to take a look at those two items, but also ask the question, just how low can Bitcoin go in this correction? Let's get started. This is episode number 37, and the title of this episode is Bitcoin Crashed, Just How Low Can It Go? Before we do that, I want to say a massive thank you to anyone who's clicked that subscribe button over the last 7 days, proof that not all heroes wear capes. Quick look at the charts. Alright, let's get the basics out of the way. This is the Kraken chart. These are 1 hourly candles and Bitcoin is trading at $44,483. So obviously we're down this week, and from the all-time high of $58,339, which is about a week ago, we are down, it's about 24%. Now I just want to take a look at some Fibonacci retracements on the 1 hourly. So I'm going to start drawing from here. I'll explain why in 1 minute. So from that point up to the all-time high of 58,339. Okay, so the reason that I've started drawing at that particular point, this point here, is because since Bitcoin, if you look at this, Bitcoin came up, crashed down, but since it passed this point, it never looked back. It set a high, it set a higher high, and consistently set higher highs up until the all-time high. So then it came down, it tested the same level again that I started drawing the Fibonacci retracement on, and that was kind of a scam wick there on the Kraken chart, but you have a few more touches here, another touch here, another touch here, and then again here yesterday, and it seems to be kind of struggling around this level now. Now, just referring to the title of this video, how low can we go in this correction? I think the lowest we're going to go is $42,000. Again, not financial advice, do your own research, you know the drill. But I've got 3 reasons why I think we could possibly go down as far as $42,000. Now, sticking with the 1 hourly chart, the first reason is because of this ascending triangle that Bitcoin seemed to be forming around $52,000. It was putting in higher highs, then got rejected off this, got rejected 3 times. So it was putting in like higher highs or higher lows, should I say, temporarily, and then got rejected. Now, they are bullish continuation patterns, but when they do break out, they can break down to the downside as well. And if you look at that, the height of that triangle, given that the breakout is there, puts us right down this yellow line, which is exactly $42,000. That's the first reason. Now, the second reason, I've switched to the daily here, and if you look at the previous all-time high of $42,000, that's the previous all-time high of $42,000 there. And one of the most bullish things that Bitcoin or any asset can do is flip previous resistance, as in a price it was struggling to get above, to new support. So if Bitcoin was to come down here and bounce off the $42,000 level and continue up, that'd be very, very bullish. That's the second reason. And the third and final reason, I'm going to stick with the daily here. I've added in the EMA ribbon here, this yellow and orange and red ribbon. We actually haven't had a bearish close or one of these red candles close below the ribbon since the 6th of October. So we haven't had a daily close under the EMA ribbon or below the EMA ribbon since the 6th of October. So I'm just observing that trend. Now, if you look at it here, the very bottom would be 41,000. So anything below that would be under 41,000. So even if it was to fall this deep into it, down to around $42,000, that's something as well. So they're the 3 reasons I think the lowest that this correction is going to go is $42,000. Obviously, doesn't mean I'm going to be right. Do your own research. You know the drill. Quick question. How low do you think Bitcoin is going to go during this correction? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, I just want to finish off the TA with a quick look at Cardano, because Cardano is one of the altcoins that I hold that I mentioned. I think it was in episode 35. I'll drop a link there above. So this is the Cardano versus Bitcoin chart. So it's Cardano valued in Bitcoin. So in the last 7 days, from its lowest point to its highest point, which was yesterday, that'd be 130% rally. And the reason I'm showing you this is because back on, I think it was February 18th, it was one of the ones I mentioned that you could actually trade for Bitcoin because they're undervalued against Bitcoin, hold it, and then when it pumps against Bitcoin, like it just did, you could trade it back and basically get free Bitcoin. So going from the bottom there to the top yesterday, that's like an 88% gain. So if you, hypothetically, if you had 1 Bitcoin and you listened to me during that video, I know it's not financial advice, but I'm just saying, and you traded that 1 Bitcoin for Cardano and then waited for the pump, then you could trade it back. You'd nearly have like 2 Bitcoins then. Obviously, it's not without risk and it's definitely not financial advice. You know the drill, but that's it for the charts for today. Okay, I just want to take a few seconds to talk about my dollar cost averaging project. I do this every single episode. I buy 10 year worth of Bitcoin just to see if it's in profit or in loss, and kind of to show people that it's not too late to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. It's the safest way to invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I've been doing this for 25 episodes. Every episode I buy 10 euro worth of Bitcoin. So this is 250 euro invested. The Bitcoin I bought with that over the last 25 episodes is now worth 525 euro and 92 cents. So total invested 250 euro. Current value, 525 euro 92 cents. So I'm in profit by 110.37%. So that's a profit of 110%. Now that's obviously not all the Bitcoin I own, but I just do this to show you it's not too late to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. On with the episode. Alright, so I have 5 news articles for you from this week for this episode. Stay tuned right to the end because the last one puts a lot of these into perspective. So the first headline's by Crypto Slate, and the headline reads, Major Dubai crypto fund to sell 750 million worth of Bitcoin to buy Cardano and POLKADOT. So this is a hedge fund. They have about $1 billion on assets under management. They have a lot of Bitcoin, and they're selling 750 million of Bitcoin because they see it as a useless store of value, and they're trading it for Cardano and POLKADOT because they believe in Cardano and POLKADOT more. They also believe in Charles Hodgkinson and Gavin Wood. They're like the people in charge of these projects prospectively. So Charles Hodgkinson is in charge of Cardano, and Gavin Wood is in charge of heading up POLKADOT. Now, they're not diversifying their portfolio. They're literally getting rid of their Bitcoin because they see Cardano and POLKADOT as more valuable. I find POLKADOT very interesting, but I've seen a lot of these hype projects before in 2017. For example, XRP. It was like supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then absolutely collapsed. And I don't think XRP is ever going to go back to where it is. So I do hold some Cardano, I do hold some POLKADOT, I do hold some Ethereum and some Link, but the vast majority of my portfolio is in Bitcoin because it's the tried and tested one. But at the same time, trying to hedge my bets as well. All right, let's move on. Now, the second article for today is by CNBC, and the headline reads, Tesla has made about $1 billion in profit on its Bitcoin investment, analyst estimates. Now, it's worth noting, this article is a week old, but I've left it like that on purpose because I wanted to show how quickly things can change and how volatile Bitcoin is. So Tesla, unless you've been living under a rock, they invested $1.5 billion American dollars in Bitcoin. They brought it a price of around $32,000. So as the price has gone up in Bitcoin, they have made a significant amount of profit. Now, this $1 billion profit, that's based on the all-time high of $58,000. Obviously, we've had a crash this week, and now Bitcoin is down about $45,000, but they're still up because they bought at about $32,000. So they're still making, they're on paper, they've made a lot of profit, but it's not a profit until you sell. Article number 3 is by CoinDesk, and the headline reads, Square buy another 170 million in Bitcoin. Ahead of its fourth quarter earnings call Tuesday, the payments firm announced it had purchased an additional 3,318 Bitcoin as a reserve asset. So this is another company. Now, Square, our payments app, it's Jack Dorsey's company. So Jack Dorsey, he's the CEO of Twitter. They have bought Bitcoin in the past, and this is just adding another 170 million worth of Bitcoin to their portfolio. Again, as a hedge against inflation, just like Tesla, just like MicroStrategy. Now, what's interesting about this article, it goes on to state, when Square's announcement was released just after 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the price of Bitcoin was below $48,000, which means those 3,318 Bitcoin were worth less than 160 million. Yes, but they're probably doing this. They're obviously doing this because they see long term that the price is going to increase. Also, it's not a loss until you sell. If I buy a Bitcoin for $10,000 or 10,000 euro and it drops down to 5,000 and I panic and I'm not in a financial position that I can afford to hold on to this and take this risk, and I sell because I need some sort of money to stay liquid or whatever, I've lost $5,000. I've lost 5,000 euro. But if you've dollar cost averaged into that and you don't need that money straight away, and you have faith in the project and you believe in Bitcoin long term and you leave it there, it could go up to 20, 30, 40 like it has. Sorry for the interruption, but I have a quick message for anyone out there right now who's watching this video and hasn't clicked that subscribe button. I see you. You've been watching those videos, haven't you? But you haven't actually clicked the subscribe button yet. Come on, do the right thing. It's free. Be a hero. Back to the episode. Article number 4 is by the New York Times, and the headline reads, MicroStrategy adds another $1 billion of Bitcoin to its balance sheets. So on Wednesday, MicroStrategy announced a 1 billion Bitcoin purchase, bringing its total spending on the cryptocurrency to more than 2 billion since the summer. Bitcoin's price is currently double the average cost that MicroStrategy paid for them, implying a gain of nearly 2.5 billion. That's 2.5 billion profit. Again, on paper, it's not really profit unless they sell. Depends which way you look at it. Now, this is the same $1 billion. This is the same additional $1 billion of Bitcoin that I mentioned in my last episode, but they've just gone ahead and done it. Now, this was not an OTC or over-the-counter trade. What that means is they didn't buy this off a fund who had already bought Bitcoin, and that purchase would have affected the price already. Because when you do that, say like if one company acquires a load of Bitcoin like Grayscale and then they sell it to MicroStrategy, if they've already bought that from an exchange, it's already affected the price. But this actually wasn't over the counter. I believe this, what I've read and what I've looked at this was they bought this through Coinbase Pro and they did it using like a bot. So I think I heard some fact it was like $2,000 worth of Bitcoin every second for like a week or something like that in order to do this. So this should affect the price, but that's a bit unusual because the price is actually going down this week. And the fifth and final news article is the most important, not just for this episode, but any other episode that I've ever brought you, because it concerns the rising demand and the falling supply of Bitcoin. Remember, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. 18.5 million have been mined already. An estimated 2 million have been lost forever because people lost their cold storage device to private keys. And every 4 years, the supply gets cut in half, and the miners aren't selling every single Bitcoin they make. So this article is by MarketWatch, and the headline reads, Opinion: Bitcoin is headed for a supply shortage, and that will keep pushing up prices. And this article was dated January 9th, 2021. And look what's happened since. Even taking into account the crash, it's still up massively. So today, there is significantly more demand for Bitcoin than there is supply. About 900 new Bitcoins are mined daily, and 3 market participants alone, that's PayPal, Square, and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. There's no mention of Tesla because it hadn't happened yet, and there's no mention of MicroStrategy, I don't know why, purchased considerably more than 900 Bitcoin a day because of high investor demand. If this dynamic continues, and we believe it will, much higher prices lie ahead for the dominant cryptocurrency. 2 things. The first thing is that even though there's 900 Bitcoin mined every day, the Bitcoin miners don't sell every single one because they want to hodl something themselves because they think the price is going to increase. And number 2, they buy more than, it says here that these companies are buying more than 900 a day. How's it happen? Because the Bitcoin miners don't actually sell even 900 of the ones they make, if that makes sense. Because they're buying them off like funds or people that, companies that have already bought Bitcoin for sale, or they're buying them off exchanges. So it's just, the demand is huge. Now, I've already outlined my price. Despite the crash during the week, I've already outlined my price prediction and exact date in my last episode. That's episode number 36. Should be a link appearing there. Make sure you check it out. I'm not saying I'm right. I've done my own research. I only invest what I can afford to lose. I advise you to do the same. And it's not financial advice, but definitely do your own research. Check it out. Okay, folks, that's the end of this episode. So I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone who's watched the videos, liked the videos, or subscribed to the channel. You really helped me grow the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So if you got any value out of this episode, or you learned anything new, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. And as usual, shlancha. Bye 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 bye. That was terrible. Oh, forget it.